After the agreed upon 3 years, Jaco would return to Earth in order to watch Goku in the next tournaments. Things had been fairly normal for him, sauntering around the galaxy, catching criminals while ducking the Frieza Force. On Earth, however, things had been a little more interesting. Goku, Krillin and Yamcha had all made considerable progress during their training as usual, but so have 2 others. Roshi had caught up on his training again, so he was a little stronger here than he originally had been, still weaker than Goku, but not too far behind. Another person who has improved is Gohan. At first, he'd been happy to simply watch Goku in the tournament, but he was feeling a touch nostalgic. He'd competed in the tournament when he was a young man, back when he was still training under Roshi with the Ox King. He'd ultimately lost back then, but he wouldn't mind giving it another go. So, he began practicing martial arts again in earnest, giving it 110%. Unlike Roshi, Gohan has not drank from the fountain of youth, so he has felt the effects of age more than his master had, but he wasn't so old he couldn't compete. And he was sure Goku would love to compete against him. So when Jaco came, Gohan would bring with him a bag containing his old turtle hermit uniform, which with a few adjustments still fit him. Jaco would pick up Gohan as well as Tights, since she'd mentioned wanting to come as well, and they'd head to Papaya Islands for the tournament. While flying above the ocean, Jaco would spot Goku attempting to swim to the island, so he decided to give him a hand, flying alongside him before opening his ship's window. "Need a hand, kid?" "Jaco, you kept your promise." "Of course I did, and I brought someone." Gohan would hold out his hand, helping Goku into the ship. "Grandpa, you came to watch me?"
"Actually, I'm here to compete. See how strong you've really gotten."
"You're competing? This is getting exciting, but I won't lose." "What about you, Jaco? You gonna take part?" Jaco didn't really have a reason not to, aside from that he'd win, but he didn't really want to say that. "Next time for sure." He'd said that to placate Goku, but he wasn't aware that Goku had taken it as a promise. They arrived on the island a little ahead of Roshi and the others, so this time Goku isn't late. Gohan would take Goku to sign up, leaving Jaco and Tights to catch up. Before long, Bulma, Pua, Oolong, Launch, Roshi, Krillin and Yamcha would show up for the tournament. Roshi would ask where Goku was and Tights would tell him he'd gone to sign up with his grandfather. "Gohan is here?" That was certainly an interesting development. As usual, before the tournament, Roshi would encounter Shen and they'd have a brief argument before everyone went to enter. Everyone gets through the preliminary matches easily. The only difference here is Pamput finds himself against Gohan, who had changed into his old turtle hermit gi. "Why don't you just step out of the ring, old timer? It's no fun fighting a geezer."
"Oh, I'll be alright. Come at me however you see fit."
Pamput would attempt to punch Gohan, who caught his fist with ease.
"Oh, you're quite strong for a normal person."
Before Pamput could react, Gohan flipped him over his shoulder and out of the ring. So Gohan takes Pamput's place in the tournament, meaning he'll be fighting Goku in the 4th match. Yamcha vs Tien ends with Tien breaking Yamcha's leg just to be a dick as usual, though Jaco seemed intrigued by Tien, a human with 3 eyes. He must be a descendant of the 3-eyed people. They came to this planet hundreds of years ago. It's said their 3rd eye can grant them godlike abilities, but if he's as evil as he claims, he won't be able to use any of those. Roshi, who had been paying close attention to Tien, took note of that. Jackie Chun has no issues with Manwolf, and Krillin manages to beat Chaozu after a fairly even battle, which brings us to the 4th match. We've got a battle of generations here as returning competitor Son Gohan takes on the last tournament's champion Son Goku. Gohan here is actually the young Goku's grandfather. When 2 competitors know each other this well, you never know who'll come out on top. As soon as the fight began, Goku and Gohan would both spring into action, exchanging a few blows before backing up to gain some distance. Neither one had successfully landed a hit on the other. They simply knew each other too well. Gohan knew how Goku would try to win, but at the same time, Goku knew how Gohan fought. "Hey Grandpa, remember this move? Scissors, paper, rock." Despite saying rock, Goku would use paper, attempting to catch Gohan off guard with a chop. But since Gohan had taught Goku this move to begin with, he could tell when he was trying to fake him out. The old man would knock his hand aside before punching Goku across the face, sending him skidding back. Gohan scores the first blow. He's clearly not going easy on his grandson.
"Hey Goku, bet you didn't know I could do this one."
Gohan would hold out his hands, charging a familiar ball of energy.
Kamehameha! Ha!
Gohan would fire the beam towards Goku and Goku would raise his arms to block the attack. Gohan would use the distraction to get behind Goku, tossing him out of the ring. Goku would shift his weight in midair before he hit the ground. He would kick off the wall, sending him back into the ring, headbutting Gohan in the back before landing just in front of him. "Sorry, I'm not going down that easy."
"But you are going easy on me, I can tell."
"You could, huh? This is our first fight in years. I want to enjoy it."
"Well, I appreciate that, Goku, but really it's an insult. Win or lose, I want to fight you at your best. If you held back and I beat you, you wouldn't be happy with that, would you?"
"You're sure? Well, if that's what you want, then I'll come at you full force. Goku was true to his word and would come at Gohan at full strength. Gohan was immediately put on the defensive, only managing to compete because he knew how Goku fought. But that wouldn't last forever. Goku kept up on the attack without landing a single blow. Gohan's defense was ironclad. Every attack Goku attempted, Gohan would block. Right now, the old man's strategy was to wear Goku out and then strike, although he had been pushed to the edge of the ring. Young Goku has Gohan on the defensive, but he just can't seem to break his grandfather's guard. Jaco could tell what Gohan's strategy was here. It might work. He doubted Goku would ever had to deal with something like this before. Goku, remember to pace yourself out there, Bulma would shout from the crowd. She seemed to catch on with what was happening as well. Goku would take her advice, stepping back for a moment to catch his breath, giving Gohan a brief respite from his onslaught. As Goku stopped to catch his breath, Gohan would capitalize, aiming to kick Goku, but Goku would see the attack coming before punching Gohan. Since he was already off balance thanks to trying to kick Goku, the attack was enough to send him tumbling out of the ring. Gohan is out of the ring! Young Goku is the winner! Gohan climbed back into the ring before bowing to Goku.
You've come a long way, Goku. You really caught me off guard. I'll be sore tomorrow. It's frustrating getting older.
Goku would bow before helping Gohan back inside. Gohan felt like he was honestly a little too old to be competing in tournaments, but retiring after one last match with Goku wasn't so bad. The next fight is Tien vs Jackie Chun. In the original, they fight for a while before Roshi attempts to convince Tien to abandon Lord Shen before choosing to leap out of the ring. Later, he admitted that he would have lost the battle if they kept the fight going. Roshi was a little stronger here, and he could tell Tien was holding back. He wasn't about to admit defeat until he saw everything this young whippersnapper could do. That, and he felt the need to inform Tien that Shen was stunting his growth.
You're not taking this fight seriously. I can tell.
You want to see me serious? Careful what you wish for, Gramps. Tien would raise his hands to his head before using the solar flare, blinding everyone in the stadium as well as Jackie. Roshi couldn't see, so he would focus on his other senses, and he would hear someone kick off the ground behind him, ducking just in time to avoid a kick from Tien aimed at the back of his head. No, I had you! There's no way you should have been able to avoid that!
You're wasting your potential training under a master like Shen. It's already stunted your growth.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe I don't, but he does.
Roshi would gesture his hand to Jaco.
That purple guy over there is a member of an alien organization that patrols the galaxy, and he recognized you as a descendant of the Three-Eyed People. Your third eye could grant you a myriad of abilities, but if you dedicate your heart to evil, you will lose that potential forever. It's not your fault. Shen has always been a master manipulator. I can tell your heart isn't really in this whole assassin thing.
Considering Jackie seemed to know that purple guy Roshi knew earlier, and that Jackie knew him, Shen would come to the conclusion that Roshi was Jackie, using telepathy to tell Tien. Of course you try to discredit Master Shen, Roshi. Jackie looked surprised for a moment. He knew?
My identity doesn't make what I said any less true. If you know who I am, then you know how much I can teach you.
There's nothing you can teach me, and I'll prove it. Tien would demonstrate his ability to use the Kamehameha wave, though he would aim at the audience instead of Jackie, as if to prove he was evil. Before anyone was hurt, however, Jaco would kick the energy wave upwards, sending it into the sky.
How did he? I can teach you more than that. There's more to martial arts than flashy techniques.
Jackie would turn and walk towards the edge of the ring.
You need to learn restraint, and I can teach you that as well, but I suppose I've said enough for now. Think about it.
Roshi would leap out of the ring, handing Tien the victory. Tien was shocked. For one, that spaceman deflected his attack like it was nothing, and then Jackie had just forfeited.
He ran away because he's afraid of you. Don't fall for it, Tien.
He'd hear Shen's voice ring in his head.
No, he wasn't afraid. If anything, he wasn't giving it his all.
He didn't know why Roshi had dropped out, but it definitely wasn't fear. Shen was half right. Roshi decided to save himself the trip to the hospital since he was sure he couldn't win, but he wasn't afraid of Tien or afraid of losing. The rest of the tournament goes as usual. Goku beats Krillin after a fairly even fight. Goku was stronger, but Krillin was smarter. That brings us to the final match, Goku vs Tien. Initially, the fight seems to be in Tien's favor, though he discovers that Chaozu is restricting Goku with telekinesis and Tien orders him to stop. Shen tells Tien to kill Goku, but he refuses, saying he doesn't want to be an assassin anymore. Shen then tells Chaozu to kill both of them, who also refuses. Shen would then threaten Chaozu before being knocked unconscious by a punch to the stomach from Jaco, allowing Goku and Tien to focus on their match. The fight goes as it does in the original, with Tien and Goku both being thrown from the arena. Goku uses a Kamehameha to propel himself into Tien and the two fall to the ground, with Goku landing first because he was hit by a truck. Because Tien landed second, he won by default. And that's where we'll leave things for now. Next up is the King Piccolo saga. Jaco is still on Earth, so how will his presence affect things? He's certainly strong enough to stop Piccolo himself, and he has no reason not to, so the king will have to be a little more careful. If you like this video, leave a comment and tell me what you think, or leave your own what-if suggestions. Either way, enjoy reading any comments, maybe even consider subscribing. But that's all for now. Have a good day.